All right, 6.2b moves a little bit further, and it also kind of adds in a little bit of a twist to what's going on and making sure you can identify what's going on. So yesterday's focus was on the basics of transitioning from basic substitution to higher level substitution. That was the one where you saw that x equals 3 and you substitute into 4x plus 2 equals 11, and so we put the 3 in for x and we solved, whereas now we have something a little bit higher than that, which is this. So a quick review of what we did was that yesterday, or last lesson, what we did was we realized that this x is alone. I'm sorry, I just do it because it's natural habit. I see an x by itself, I know I'm going to substitute for it, and so I put that here, and again you wrote everything in front of the box, which is 4 parentheses, substitute 8y minus 3, and then everything behind plus 7y equal 10. And that was what our experience was. And then yesterday we also saw ones where there was a y by itself, and we saw y equals 7x plus 1. And so since that's a y, it means we put it here. Notice I did not put a box around the full 2y or the full 4x. You must put it directly in for what it is, which means everything in front of the box here is 3x minus 2, then parentheses, then 7x plus 1, then equals 5. That is where we stopped yesterday. We are going to take it further today, as well as to look at some questions that make you focus, as it says here, on finding the proper variable. Just remember that the variable is identified as being alone in the equation. So when we look at this, you can't substitute for either one of these two because x is over here with 8, 3, and y. So that doesn't work. But if you look here, there is a variable that's by itself. So what you will do is you'll recognize that this is the equation I will use, and I will take it up to this equation, and we're going to finish it off. So here we go. We're going to put 8x plus 3 parentheses 2x minus 6 equals 4. We are then going to distribute. Remember distributing here. So 8x plus 6x minus 18 equals 4. You are then going to combine like terms. 14x minus 18 equals 4. And I believe that is as far as this lesson is going to ask you to go, because there's no need to go any further. This is not set up to be solved. It is just set up for you to substitute, which again we practiced that in our last lesson. And then once you substitute appropriately, distribute and combine your like terms, which now I hope that you see where we are now. This is what we actually know how to solve all the time, because that's what we've been doing. Alright. Here again, looking at this equation, can't substitute for that, can't substitute for that, but we do have a y all by itself up here. And so we're going to take and put this up for y, and then we put 2x plus 3 because that's what's in front of the box. We swap out our y for 4x minus 2. We then put down the other equation box, which is equals 7. We then distribute, so 2x comes down plus 12x minus 6. We then combine like terms. 14x minus 6 equals 7. Again, I'm pretty sure that's where you stop, because whenever I do this in the first semester, which is why I plan my lessons the way I do, but whenever I do this in the first semester, I don't want to have you jump right into it. I want to make sure you have time to ask questions now. So again, if you don't get this on your homework, you want to ask now. Again, my least favorite thing, my pet peeve, is those students who breeze right through part 1 for whatever reason. Either they just don't do it or they think it's not important. Then they breeze right through step 2, whether it's using other assistants or having people do it for them or whatever it might be, and they think it's not important. And then we get to step 3, which is where it should be easy if you understood steps 1 and 2, and they say I don't get it at all, which is a big fat lie, because if you understood step 1 and step 2, step 3 is extremely simple. So they kind of tell on themselves, but I don't tell them that whenever they ask for that assistance, because it's my job to help. But make sure if you get stuck today that you ask today, because if you can get here, the rest of it's pretty easy. The thing is, you have to know how to substitute into the box. You have to know how to simplify it and how to get down to this level, because again, once you can get there, you are ready to do well on this. But again, since everybody likes to get straight to the end, that's where everything goes wrong. So looking at this again, we have another equation here. Here we go. We got a y all by itself up here. Even though that looks like it's by itself, it's actually on the same side of the equal sign as 8x, so it's not really alone. You're looking for either, as an example, y equals something or something equals y, or you're looking for x equals something or something equals x, because all these are on the side all by itself. So again, that's what you're looking for when you substitute. But anyway, when you do this, and this is tricky because of something that we're going to have to talk about, we are going to put it right here. So everything in front of the box is 8x minus. Then we have to use parentheses. Again, I'll show you on the back of this paper what happens if you don't use parentheses once I substitute. And then I'll compare the two to show you why you're going to miss this question. And I know you're going to miss this question because I missed this question. And the reason I teach the way I do is because I missed almost every trick problem that there was supposed to be given. And so I know when you're going to fall on them too, because again, that's what they're set up for. So what I will do is write this as if it was, actually I'll use the back side of this other sheet of paper. Because what some of you are going to want to do, because you like to take shortcuts and you feel like writing an extra line is a waste of your life, so you put 8x minus 4x minus 3 equals 2 because you put it in there. And then you go 8x minus 4x is 4x minus 3 equals 2. And then you type it in and it marks you wrong. And you type it in and it marks you wrong. And then you say, I don't get it. Stop for a moment. Remember that when you use parentheses, you're actually distributing the negative. And so yes, it's 8x, and yes, it's minus 4x, but it is not minus 3 because a negative distributed to a negative makes plus 3 equals 2. And so your actual answer is 4x plus 3 equals 2. Now I understand that I just gave you the thing that's going to mark you wrong. And you're going to feel embarrassed when you missed it, or when you miss it. But trust me, you're supposed to miss it. So don't feel embarrassed when you ask me that, because you're going to ask me that. You're supposed to ask me that. So just make sure, again, and all I'll tell you is make sure you use your parentheses, because again, the negative distributes the other negative to make it positive. And that is the trick part of this problem. Keep in mind we also did learn how to substitute for x's. So again, this is a x equals, which means this is the variable that's all by itself. And we are going to put it here. And so we put parentheses 2y minus 7 plus 9y equals 1. Notice there was nothing in front of the box, so I don't put anything in front of the parentheses. Pretty much the parentheses represent your box. Now I just rewrite it without the parentheses, and then I combine my like terms to get 11y minus 7 equals 1. Again, not a tough process as long as you caught on yesterday and as long as you understand how to distribute, which means you caught on in the first couple weeks of school. Because again, this is a chapter 1 topic. It's also something that we faced in chapter 2 when we learned how to solve. So again, it's been in front of you. You just have to make sure that you kind of get to where you need to be in terms of asking for help and getting it down. E is tricky. And I'm going to tell you that it does not matter which way you go. I will write it again over here just to show you. Because the hardest thing about getting older is responsibility. And what happens with responsibility, I know I'm doing a life lesson, I'm sorry, sue me. What happens with responsibility is you have to make choices because no one's going to choose for you. And so whenever you have one choice, it's very easy. See? You only have one choice. Easy. Only have one choice. Easy. But you actually have two choices here. And what happens to young people whenever they get two choices is their brain starts to short circuit and they say, oh no, I've got two choices. I'm going to choose the wrong one. No, you won't. If there are two good choices, it simply means you can go either way as long as you do it the right way. What happens is when you mess up, it's because you did it the wrong way. But yes, you can substitute for this y and put this over here. I do not need parentheses though, because it'll just be 6x minus 2, because that's where I'm putting it, equals 9x plus 3. Or I could, if I wanted to, take this and put it up here, which would put 9x plus 3 in for that y, equals 6x minus 2. Aren't these both the same thing? Because it's just 6x plus 2 on the right, 9x plus 3 on the left. I'll show you. I'm sorry, I keep thinking of the answer. I'll move my smaller x, negative 2 equals 3x plus 3. That's as far as I'm going to go. I'll move my 6x to the other side, because again, I moved the smaller one. 3x plus 3 equals negative 2. Look again, aren't these two the same thing? 3x plus 3 equals negative 2. I'll keep going just to prove to you it's the same thing. Minus 3, negative 5 equals 3x. Divide by 3, negative 5 over 3 equals x. Alright, minus 3, 3x equals negative 5. Divide by 3, look at that. X equals negative 5 over 3. So which one of these choices is better? Both of them. Do you use the first one or the second one? Yes. It doesn't matter. the thing about algebra, the thing about problem solving is whenever you have more than one option, pick one and go with it. Just pick one. It doesn't matter which one you pick. I won't mark you wrong for picking a different one than I picked. Just pick it. And if the computer marks you wrong, remember computers are not smart. If the computer marks you wrong, send me a screenshot and I can easily say, yep, you got that right. I will fix it in your homework. Keep in mind, again, our goal is not perfection. As long as we practice the process and get better every day, we will be ready next week when the material takes another step forward. So use the rest of this time to work on your understanding. I'm sorry, this was a classroom thing. But just, again, focus on minimizing mistakes. That's what we're here for, is to make a mistake so you figure out what mistakes that you actually do and then be able to say, you know what, I'm not going to mess that up again. I'm going to get it right this time. And eventually, you do. By the way, do think about the time when you didn't know that 7 times 8 was 56. And right now you know it, or should know it, all the way through. Other than that, make sure you answer the question at the very end of the video, and talk to you later. Good luck.